Hello there, family. I am your Uncle Opie. I am a sweater vest enthusiast, an avid cat lover, and the only person to ever tell me I was handsome was my mother, but mother knows best. How is everybody? Hey, do you guys remember the movie The Warriors? I think I just asked you one of the dumbest questions ever. Do you remember The Warriors? Who doesn't remember this movie? Who doesn't love this movie? If you're not a fan, I don't know how you even found this video anyways. It's one of the most classic films ever made, one of my all-time favorites. However, for those who may not know, Wikipedia. The Warriors is a 1979 American action thriller film directed by Walter Hill. Based on Sol Urich's 1965 novel of the same name, the film centers on a fictitious New York City street gang who must travel 30 miles or 48 kilometers for those of us who don't speak Bald Eagle from the north end of the Bronx. How many macaronis is that, by the way? From the north end of the Bronx to their home turf on Coney Island in southern Brooklyn, after they are framed for the murder of a respected gang leader, Cyrus. The film was theatrically released in the United States on February 9th, 1979. I want you to pay attention to that fact. It was released by Paramount Pictures. End quote. You already knew all that, but did you know this? Also from Wikipedia. After reports of vandalism, hold on, I'm trying to read my computer behind my phone. This was a new thing I'm trying. It looks kind of dumb, I know. After reports of vandalism and violence, Paramount Pictures temporarily halted their advertising campaign for the film and released theater owners from their obligation to show the film. So the movie was pulled because it was believed that the film itself provoked gang violence. And I know you're probably sitting there saying, oh, I already knew that. When is the part that we didn't know coming? Check this out. It gets so much deeper than that. I promise you, you're not ready. Here we go. You all probably know the book by Sol Urich of the same title, The Warriors, inspired the film The Warriors, and you probably also know The Warriors is also inspired by the real-life memoir of ancient Greek general Xenophon and his recounting of the military adventure of the 10,000, which was a mercenary army that included several of Athens' most important figures, including Socrates. Kinda knew that because at the beginning of the director's cut of the film, like Walter Hill actually explains some of that. It's a really cool story. He's like, in Persia, in the year something, a group of, 10,000, but he says it's like a smaller number, I think. Anyway, the Warriors conveys the besiegement that would come from moving through an alien landscape among hostile peoples with foreign ways. This is what happened in real life to Xenophon and the 10,000 after their abortive campaign in Persia. Which is crazy, because when Walter Hill says that at the beginning of the director's cut of the film, I was like, is that a real story? What is that from? And now we know. But that is not even the crazy part. Check this out. While Hill himself envisioned the film as more of a dystopian fantasy than some realistic gangland thriller, the movie soon found itself embroiled in the controversy for sparking violence, yada yada yada. You knew all of this, but where is the good stuff, right? Here we go. Have you heard this? Have you heard this? This is crazy because this isn't even what I was going to make this video about. I actually found this information while researching for another video that I was going to make that you guys will see soon. It's going to be dope. Stay here, subscribe, check it out, follow me, whatever you got to do. I'm not good with the internet slang terms for, promoting yourself constantly. Just do what you got to do to stay here. Anyway, check it out. So in the winter of 1971, remember the film was released in 1979. In 1971, dozens of New York gangs, including the Savage Skulls, the Black Spades, the Immortals, the Majestic Warlocks, and the Spanish Daggers, met in the gymnasium of the Hoe Avenues Boys Club in the Bronx to discuss a truce. This parley came after the murder of Black Benji of the Ghetto Brothers, who himself had tried to promote peace between the city's gangs. To ensure that there was no trouble at the summit, a gang member was positioned on the rooftop across from the venue with a rifle. Although gang violence was common in the city at the time, there evidently was some taste for diplomacy. A youth worker.
The orphans, right? Yeah, our youth worker, she talks about you guys all the time.
We ain't got one.
That must be because you guys are so bad, they're afraid of you.
called Eduardo Vincenti, aka Spanish Eddie, proposed the grand idea of forming a super gang under the Family Peace Treaty as a means of settling conflicts. His scheme got the leaders of 68 gangs on board at the time, when the NYPD estimated that there were around 10,000 gang members in just the Bronx alone. Ooh. Before his idea could fully come to fruition, Vincenti was transferred to Brooklyn and shot in the head while trying to stop a fight. He survived, but some of his colleagues suspected it was an attempt on his life for trying to unite the gangs. Sound familiar? These incidents would provide some background to the atmosphere for Walter Hill's 1979 cult classic, The Warriors, a streamlined action thriller charting the odyssey of a small group of Coney Island toughs as they journey across New York after they are framed for the murder of a messianic gang leader, with all of the city's other crews in vengeful pursuit. Wow, I had never heard that before. That story I just told you was from 1971. This movie was released in 1979. I did a quick reference check on Google, and all of this was true. Some of these gangs were real, and some of them, including the Savage Skulls, still exist to this day. Real quick, I just want to gloss over some of these gang names here. They're amazing. The Savage Skulls, the Black Spades, the Immortals, the Majestic Warlocks, that one kills me, and the Spanish Daggers. Just awesome. Blew my mind. And some of you super fans may have already known that. I didn't know that. If it was inspired by the book, the story of Xenophon, and this true story from 1971, that is news to me. But okay, super fans, did you know this? In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Walter Hill admits that Fox's death, you know Fox the character, he dies, he gets thrown on the train tracks by the police. Fox's death was due to the actor's character Waits being fired from the shoot due to some personal issues. Hill regrets not trying to work through their differences and says that Waits has since apologized for his disruptive behavior on set. I am your Uncle Opie. I am a huge Warriors fan. I did not know that. If you knew that, then you're smarter than me. Let me know in the comments. Is this something new, or did you know this all along? Subscribe, follow me. I subscribe back. I follow back. Yada da 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 da. I love y'all for real.